Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Fearless Queens Challenge, Day 2. This is the morning session. Y'all already know, I am super excited for our guest on today. He is LaJun Cole. Hallelujah. I'm super excited. Thank you all so much for tuning in last night. I know we had a little bit of technical issues, but I'm certain today is going to go very smoothly. No interruptions, no delays. Listen, you're in for a treat today. You are going to be empowered. You're going to be equipped in goal setting, smart goals, wildly important goals. Listen, so much more. You better get your planner out. You better get your pen together. Come on. You've got to pay close attention to all of the information that's going to be given to you. He's coming power packed. I'm sure he's going to try to put 20 pounds of potatoes in a 5-pound sack. And so you've got to be ready. You've got to be attentive to what's about to take place. So one of the things I want to do, first of all, again, I just want to welcome each and every one of you. This is such, one of the things that I said on last night is God himself is immutable. He never changes. But one thing about God is he'll never leave us the same. We have to change. We have to grow. We have to increase. And I know all of you want to grow. All of you want to go into higher heights. You want to go into deeper depths. You want everything concerning you to be blessed. You want favor. You want to walk in the promises of God. Every dream, every vision, every prophetic word that God spoke over your life, you want to see it come to pass. I said to you last night, it's important that you write it down, because when you write down the dreams, the visions, and the prophetic words that God has given to you, it is an act of faith. You're decreeing something, amen, so that it can be established. It is something that you can watch, something you can look forward to taking place in your life. And so today, I'm telling you, you're going to go to another place. You're going to understand things that you never knew before. Things are going to click with you. He's going to give you revelation. He's going to give you practical strategies for accomplishing greater things than you ever imagined. Things that you only dreamed about. You're going to be able to use these principles, these strategies. You're going to be able to apply them to your life today. I'm not talking about next week or next year. No, you're going to be able to apply these principles to your life today. So right before he comes, I'm going to play just a quick video, and it's the video of this particular challenge, everything that's going on with it. So you're going to be tremendously blessed. I'm going to make sure that you have your pen out. But those of you that have the Shiro planner, go ahead and get your planner out and get your pen ready. And so make sure that there are no distractions so you can get every drop. Come on, we want to get every drop that he's going to give us on today. Take a look. Fearless Queen, do you realize you've been called to do greater things than you ever imagined? Well, now is the time to do it. In order to do great things, you must have great goals. I'm Valora Cole, and I put together a free 5-day Fearless Queen Challenge with a group of phenomenal world-renowned leaders, men and women, who will give you the tools you need to be successful in every area of your life. You will receive wisdom and practical how-tos from John Eckhart, LaJun Cole, Michelle J. Miller, Courtney Martin, Dr. Barbara Lowe, Monica Hendricks, Jennifer Brindley, Yvette Benton, along with myself. During this challenge, you will learn how to exceed your goals in your career, in business, in your relationships, in your finances, in your spiritual health, in your emotional health, your spiritual walk with God, in every area of your life, and so much more. You can't afford to miss this free event. Go now to our website, www.fearlesswomenglobal.org, and register if you want to have great goals with great results. Looking forward to having you there. Well, we're back. And he's here. He is here. And so today I'm going to be his assistant. Is that okay? So he let me be his assistant today. So whatever he needs, I'm here to serve him. So I want to make sure that he has everything he needs so that he can give to you everything that you need. Amen. So again, if you come on, please share the broadcast. Share at least 10 times today because we've got to get this word out. We've got to get what's inside of him to as many people as possible. So thank you so much. For those of you that are watching from Apostle John Eckhart's page, thank you so much. We certainly welcome you. We appreciate Apostle John for allowing us this opportunity to broadcast from his page. So God bless you and welcome.
You know, I'm really so excited to be here. I believe that this is just an amazing occasion, and I am so excited and I'm so happy as you put on this whole Fearless Challenge, and my wife just can't stop smiling because she is so happy that I'm with her.
Yes.
But you know, I'm really excited about the challenge because I believe that many of you have visions, you have dreams, you have things that you have desired to do, but the problem is oftentimes we have a dream, we have a vision, but sometimes we don't have a plan, we don't have a goals, we have not set goals. And I believe that I would basically say everybody has a dream, everybody has a vision, but the one thing that separates the people who have dreams and visions from those who actually have success in those is the action plan and having goals and having them written down and being successful with it. So do something for me. Get your planners out, get your pen out so that you can write down all the strategies that I'm going to give you today. I'm going to talk to you today about SMART goals. I'm going to talk to you about wildly important goals, and I want to see you achieve your vision. I want to see you achieve your dream. I want to see you achieve everything that you've ever imagined doing, because I know that your dreams are big. I know that your plans are big. That everything that God has put inside of you, there's a big God inside of you. There's a big plan inside of you. There's big vision inside of you, and so you've got to bring it to pass. And so that's what we're here for today. We're here to help you understand how to set goals, how to plan, how to strategize, and how to see those things come to pass. And so as I was thinking, I said everybody has a dream, everybody has a vision, everybody has an idea, but sometimes those dreams and visions don't always work well in the formula. When you get ready to do them, sometimes you learn that there are different things that you should have done, that you should have planned, so that the things that you dream and that you envision, they can come to pass. Mm-hmm. And so one of the things I say is that a picture plus purpose equals and plus values equals vision. Let me say that again. A picture of what your life can be plus purpose for why you're doing it, then putting the right values in there will produce vision. But the next thing is visions and dreams plus goals and strategy equals a plan. And then a plan executed consistently will get you results. And so we want to be people who put our plans consistently together to see results happen in our lives. Another thing I thought about was I said, everybody has an idea, but an idea without a plan is just a dream.
Right.
You could say a dream without a plan becomes an achievable and a realistic manifestation in the earth, and then we begin to see tangible results in our lives. There's another thing I thought about. I said, and I want to show you how you can take your dream and turn it into reality. I want to show you how to come from having a vision, having a dream, laying up at night thinking about it, dreaming about it, believing God for it, to seeing the manifestation of it. And you can do this we've actually done this in writing books. We've done it in our fitness goals. I went from 255 pounds down to 265, 270 pounds, 175 pounds, right? And so I've actually done this in my fitness goals. We did this in our social media goals. We went from almost like 2,000 up to 20,000 by using this plan and the strategy that I'm going to show you today. Then we went even our finances. We saved money. We built our credit using this same simple principle. The same thing with our savings, with our marketing strategy, even with our education, with our reading plan, with our sales goals, and even with our travel. We've done all those things through this simple plan that I'm going to show you today. Now let me ask you this question. Why is it that you think that some people don't achieve their dreams and visions in their lives?
first of all, they don't sometimes have goals, or they don't have a plan to achieve those goals. Sometimes they look at their dreams and they're like, this is too big for me. How in the world can I do all of this? I don't have the resources. I don't have the people. I don't have the finances. So I don't think I'm qualified to do it.
Right. Well, I'm going to give you several reasons why I think most people, I love what you said. I mean, when I tell you I love what you said, but I'm going to give you reasons that I came up with, that I said, why don't people actually achieve the dreams and the vision that they have in their heart? Number one, they have not thought through their dreams. This word think means to have a conscious mind, some extent of reasoning, remembering experiences, and making rational decisions. So sometimes people have not really thought out the dreams, the vision, the things that they want to do. The next thing is they've not written them down and into actionable and executable steps. Some things sound good in theory, but don't always work good in execution. Let me say that again. Sometimes things sound good in theory. You have a great theories, you have great ideas, but when you start to work it out, you find that they don't work well for you. Okay? And then the other thing is they don't become executable. Now, executable means that you're able to run with them. You're able to make them come to pass. You've got steps that you've written down, ideas that you've written down, and you say, this is step 1, this is step 2, this is step 3, this is step 4. And so now you have executable ideas that you can work with. Then they also have to be actionable, ready to go or to put into action, ready for use. And so in order for an idea to be executed, it's got to be clear, it's got to be concise, and it's got to be defined. So you got to define it. You got to make sure that it's clear, so that if you're not the only one who's executing it and other people are helping you do it, then it's got to be so crystal clear, it's got to be so understandable that by the time I write it down, then my wife can understand, she can read it, she can see it, she can spell it out and literally walk it out even if I'm not there. Now, this is interesting. This wasn't in my notes, but I'll brag for a minute. My wife told me that one of the things that really impressed her about me was when we met, that I already had a plan and strategy for what we're going to do in ministry, for our lives, for our nonprofits, for our businesses. I already had these things. Right. And so she just fell in love with me because, I had these things already written down.
That's why we got married after 2 months. We met 2 months later, we got married because he had a plan. Of course, God had a plan. But one of the things that was so important, and things that I mentioned last night, we've got to get prepared now for where we're going. So when God opens the door, we're ready. Amen. We're ready. So when God brought us together, he was already ready. He already had a plan written down for our life, for the ministry, and beyond. And so he was ready when he found me.
Wow. I said, okay, the third thing is sometimes we're not committed. Now, I know that's challenging. I know that we think that we're committed, but this is what the word committed means: obligated to a person, thing, or as by a pledge, assurance, devoted. And so sometimes we have an idea, but we're not committed to that idea. We're not sold out to it. Let me give you a few other things about that. When the benefit of success outweighs the pain, which makes us want to quit, we become committed. When the benefit of success outweighs the pain that we're experiencing, making it come to pass, that's when we start to see success.
Right.
When we begin to see that the end of this thing is going to be greater than the beginning thereof, this is when we start to see success. All right. Then we're not consistent. So then sometimes we're committed, but then we're not consistent. Consistent means agreeing or congruent, compatible, not self-contradictory. And I thought about it. I said, man, sometimes our actions contradict our words and our thoughts, our dreams, our vision. There's another thing: constantly adhering to the same principles, course, or form, holding firmly together, coherent. Okay, what do we do when it hurts? What do we do when it's not convenient? What do we do when it's not easy? Sometimes I'm talking about this now. I get to pick on my wife today, but sometimes we're riding, or sometimes we're walking, or sometimes we're running in our exercise regimen, and sometimes it's not always easy. Right. Sometimes this process will get difficult difficult, and everything in your body will tell you to quit. Sometimes I ride bikes. I ride 30 miles. Sometimes I ride 50 miles. And sometimes when I'm riding, my body is telling me to quit. It's telling me, everything in me is saying, you should stop now. You could stop 5 minutes ago and you would cause yourself less pain. But I understand that the pain that I'm going through now, if I'll continue to be consistent, I'll produce results that literally take me to the place that I want to get to. I would have never lost those 80-something pounds if I had not been consistent, if I had not been committed to it, even when it hurt, even when it didn't feel good, even when everything around me, even my mind, even my body told me to quit, told me to just stop running right now, stop riding right now, stop walking right now. But I knew that if I continued my process, I would get to the location I'm getting to. I'm telling you why we sometimes don't achieve our goals, because before I can tell you about the goals, I got to talk to the rational processes in your mind that cause you to stop achieving your goals. Number one. Number two. Number five, we're not disciplined. Discipline is training to act in accordance with rules, a drill, an activity, exercise, or regimen that develops or improves a skill. And so it's important that we become so disciplined that we can do it even when it hurts, even when no one else is with us, even when we're all alone, or even when nobody is supporting us, even when it's not convenient, even when the pressure is on. When all these things are happening, if you're disciplined, you will continue to do the things that you've already decided to do. Okay? All right. Thank you for sharing this, because I think that each one of you is the key to somebody else's breakthrough. You're the key to somebody else's really tapping into the next season of their life. So thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for letting other people know that we're on. Thank you for hitting that share button on Facebook, and thank you for hitting the share button on YouTube and letting other people know that we are on. Okay? So next, I say number 6, we do not measure ourselves for improvement. And this is tough. Now, if you don't measure yourself for improvement, now let me tell you what measuring yourself is. Measuring yourself, if you're trying to lose weight, means getting on the scale.
Right.
It means getting on the scale.
Right.
It means you get on the scale and you write down how much you weigh, so that the next time you can see if you've lost weight. And so, okay, go ahead.
That was me. I did not want to get on the scale. I'm like, no, I don't want, even though I may have had an idea of what I weighed, I didn't want anybody else to know how much I weighed. And so I had this thing. And so my husband says, no, you've got to get on the scale. You've got to have a scoreboard of your success. You don't know where you are, so you don't know where you're trying to go.
Right. It's real.
Yes.
This word measure means to ascertain the extent, the dimensions, the quantity, the capacity, etc., especially by comparison with a standard. And so I said this word measure means to set a mark of success, then take out a measuring stick and see if we've met our mark or extended it, or in the intent. So if we don't measure, we don't know where we are.
Right.
If you didn't have a speedometer in your car, you wouldn't know how fast you're going. If we didn't have measuring, basically scoreboards at football games and basketball games, you'd just be playing the game and never have been able to measure it to see where you are. And so it's so very important to measure. It never do anything that you can't measure. Never set a goal that you can't measure. Okay? So you gotta measure. Then we gotta have a coach. You gotta have a coach.
Right.
You gotta have somebody else who is not impressed with your progress, with your skill level. Somebody who is dedicated to seeing you achieve your next level. You've been called to achieve more and to achieve your next level, but sometimes you need somebody on the outside to look at where you are so that they can help you to get to the next level.
Right.
And they got to be a person that is not impressed with your success. They're not impressed with your skills. No, they're only committed to your next level. Are you listening to me? So this is an outside expert and a measurer who is not impressed with our skills, our skill set, our level, but is committed to our growth. Then number 8, we have to have accountability. The state of being accountable, liable, answerable. Who are you answerable to? If you're not answerable, and listen, let me tell you this. If you don't measure yourself oftentimes you don't want anyone else to measure you.
Yes.
And then what you don't do is you don't grow, you don't improve. Then nothing helps you to get better. Now, what I did say, that I did forget to mention, is that everybody that's registered for this, I'm going to give my wife my notes, and she's going to email those notes out to you. So again, but you got to be registered, so she has your email address so that she can get this to you. Because I want you to have these notes so that you can be blessed and you can go back and look at them. You don't have the video, but if you have the notes, you can go back and look at it, and I think it'll really bless you. Okay.
Right. And so you can, if you have not registered, you can register at LaJun and Valora.com. It's on our Facebook page, as well as fearlesswomenglobal.org. Fearlesswomenglobal.org. Go ahead and register for the Fearless Queens Challenge, and he will send you all of his notes. That in itself is amazing.
Wow. Okay. So now we're going to talk about this word goal. A goal is defined as the result or achievement toward which effort is directed. An aim, an end. So if you're putting forth effort, you're putting forth energy, you're putting forth your money, you're putting forth your strength, your time, the effort, you're putting these things forth, you got a goal. You got something that you're striving for. It's like if you were out and you were running a 400-meter race. The goal is the end state. Or if you're playing football. Now, because I live in Tampa Bay, I'm excited because we were the Super Bowl champs.
Yes.
And we watched them, our football team, go past the goal more times than the other team did, which means we won the game.
Right.
Think about that. How many goals can you achieve? How much can you really achieve the goals and the things that you really set out to do? And again, everybody has dreams. Everybody has vision. Everybody has ideas. But today, I want to tell you and I want to show you how you can set goals that help you achieve the destiny and the plan that you have for your life. All right? So, the first thing I'm going to talk about is what's called SMART goals. Now, SMART goals SMART is an acronym. The acronym stands for the goals must be specific. Number 2, they must be measurable. Number 3, they must be achievable. Number 4, they must be realistic. And then they must be time sensitive. Let me give you that again. SMART is an acronym, which means that goals must be specific, they must be measurable, they must be achievable, they must be realistic, and they must be time sensitive. So when we do this, and this is the same principle, I'm going to show you what we call the WIG formula. WIG stands for, it's W-I-G, and WIG stands for wildly important goal. But the first thing I'm going to talk about is SMART goals. Specific. You have to be able to make them specific. If you do not have a start point and an end point and a time period, then what you got is you've just still got an idea. You got to write down your beginning point, you got to write down your middle point, and then you got to write down your end point. Okay? All right. Then they got to be measurable. You got to measure these goals. You gotta say, okay, I'm going from this place to this place, and I want to get there by this time. Because if you don't have an end state and a measuring stick, you can't go back to see if you really achieve the goal. And if you can't go back to see if you achieve the goal, you really don't know where you're at. Let me give you, for instance, we were driving from Tallahassee to Tampa. And so the distance, I think, is, I can't remember how far the distance was, but I think if I drove 75 miles per hour and I did that for 4 hours, I could get from Tallahassee, Florida to Tampa, Florida. And so what I did was I broke that up into 4 sections. The first section, I said I'm going to go the first 75 miles, and then I'm going to see if I've actually made it 75 miles on the map and with my speedometer. Then I'll go another 75 miles, and I'll see if I've made it the 75-mile distance. And then I'll go another 75 miles. And then by the time I get to the 4th 75 miles, I should be in Tampa. So this is understanding goals, breaking the goals down so that you actually get to the destination that you want to get to. I'm going to show you how to do this with your finances. I'm going to show you how to do this with your fitness goals. I'm going to show you how to do this with your social media goals. I'm going to show you how to do this with your writing goals. I'm going to show you how to do with all those different goals, because I believe that this system works. Are you listening to me? And I'm going to talk to you and show you how we did it with the things that we were doing. Let me look really quickly. There's a format that I wanted to give you. And so when I look at this and we say specific, when we look at the specific side of things, they must be clear, specific, so that your goals are easy to achieve. This also helps you to know how and where to get started. Then when you talk about being measurable, measurable goals can be tracked, allowing you to see your progress, and they also tell you when a goal is complete. Then number 3, they got to be achievable. Are you able to take action to achieve the goal? Actionable goals ensure that the steps that get there are within your control, which means can I really achieve them? Are they so far out there that I cannot achieve it in the amount of time that I'm saying I'm going to achieve it? Like if I say, well, I'm going from Tallahassee to Tampa and I'm going to do it in 1 hour. Well, that means that I have to drive 400 miles per hour.
Right.
That's not possible.
Right.
So that's not achievable. It's not realistic. That doesn't make sense.
Right.
It would be a good vision. It'd be a great dream, but it's not something that I can really do. And so we've got to make sure that whatever dreams and visions we have, that we've got actionable goals, executable goals, and that this thing is so achievable and realistic that we start to see. And let me tell you something. Once you start to see, yourself achieving things, and once you start to see yourself moving in them, let me tell you something. I remember. You remember when we first started with the social media, and my wife, I'm trying to see how to say this. So my wife didn't necessarily believe that it was going to be accurate, that it was going to work. And so I said, baby, this is what we're going to do.
Right.
We're gonna move in this, and we're going to see this come to pass. And so
he had a board, he had everything laid out. He said, this is what we're going to do, gave us the times that we were going to come on, and it was amazing. It just began to explode. Why? Because he was consistent and he was persistent. He didn't let anything stop him from being on at the time that he said he was going to come on. And so people started, it was like, wow, you're always there at a specific time. I can set my watch by it because he was consistent.
Wow, that's important. And then the T in SMART is a date helps us stay focused and motivated, inspires us, and provides something to work towards. So when we look at this and we set the goal and we set the plan, then guess what? And we measure it and we see if we're actually achieving it, we'll achieve it. All right. So the next thing I want to go back to it, because I believe that once we actually get the goals and we set the goals and they're SMART goals, now we can move into the next step. So the next is what's called the 4 Disciplines of Execution. Now, I love this book. I recommend this book. And this is the book, and I recommend it to every pastor, every leader, every person that takes my business courses, every person that takes my leadership courses, every person that takes any course that I teach. I want them to have this book. And the reason is because I believe that within this book, it really helps us to really stay focused on our plan. It really helps us to structure. It really helps us to go to the next level. I believe in this book. You got to say?
One of the things that we find so often that people come to us and they say, I have all of these ideas. I've got several ideas and I don't know where to begin. And so this book will help you to stay focused and prioritize those ideas, because sometimes our mind keeps going. Many of you are creatives. Many of you, of course, are prophetic, and so you have all of these ideas and business ideas and book ideas, and you get confused, you get so worn out because you don't even know where to start. How do I begin this? This is too much for me. So we hear that a lot, and so he's going to talk about that, how to stay focused. And that book, The 4 Disciplines of Execution, listen, it will literally change your life, because it did for us. All of our leadership team, whenever we do business seminars, leadership seminars, it is a must. It is a book that corporations use a lot to train their leaders as well. Corporate America uses this book, so you've got to invest in this book. We're not getting anything from it, but we're recommending this because we know it's going to help you tremendously to accomplish your goals.
Wow. Now, somebody asked what was the name of the book again. It was The 4 Disciplines of Execution, and it's just tremendous. So I'm going to talk to you about it very quickly.
Thank you, Marina, for putting that in. Thank you all for posting that, the name of that book.
And somebody asked, what was the T in SMART? The T in SMART stands for time sensitive. Okay, so the goals are specific, they're measurable, they're achievable, they're realistic, and they're time sensitive. And so that's going to bless you. Okay, so let's get into this. What are these 4 disciplines of execution? The 4 disciplines of execution, number 1 is to have a wildly important goal. Then the 2 is to have what's called a lead measure. And I'm going to talk to you about this in just a moment. And then I'm going to actually I'm going to actually draw it out for you. So I'm going to make it so smooth and so easy. You're going to just be like, my God, I just walked through that. It was just so easy. Okay. Then you're going to have a compelling scoreboard. And then you're going to have a cadence of accountability meeting. And so I'm going to talk to those. So number 1, you're going to have a wildly important goal. You're going to have a lead measure, you're going to have a scoreboard, and then you're going to have a cadence of accountability. And I'm telling you, this is scientific. It's interesting because it's even biblical. This is even biblical, okay? It's scalable and it actually works. And I'm going to give you examples of this in fitness. I'm going to give it to you in social media growth. I'm going to give it to you in multiplying disciples, in church growth. I'm going to give you an example for savings. I'm going to give you an example in reading and studying a book or whatever. And then I'm going to give it to you even for your writing goals, okay? All right. And then I'm going to pray with you. Before I pray with you, I'm going to actually show you how to gauge this by what's called a balanced scorecard and also the SWOT analysis. And so this is going to be how we're going to evaluate it in the end to make sure that we're setting our goals. Okay, so with our lead measure, now the wildly important goal. Say for instance, the wildly important goal for us would be let's look at weight loss. So I'll use me, but sometimes if I use other people will, they don't want me to use them. So I'll use me, for instance. So my goal was to go from 255 pounds. Initially, my goal was to get down to 220 pounds. And so I lost, that was like a 35-pound weight loss. So what I said that I would do is, so let me make sure that I write this down. And I want you guys to follow me. And I'm going to switch off the screen so I can write on the screen. And here we go. Okay. Yep, there we go. Okay. So here you've got, I want to go from 285 pounds to 100, we'll say 190 pounds by July. Now, the question I got to ask is, is this, first of all, is it, let me see, let's I think we do 255 pounds. Yep, there we go. So the question is this realistic? Is it realistic to think that we can lose 75 pounds by, or is it 55 pounds, 65 pounds by July? That might not be realistic. Mm-hmm. So it's a goal, but it's not a realistic goal. And it's not even an achievable goal for us to do that in that amount of time. So what I say is it's probably easier for me to say I'm going to go from 255 to 220 by August. Mm-hmm. Yep. Uh-oh. Okay, so hopefully everybody can see that. So my first goal, it was a goal, but it wasn't achievable. See, I've got to have an X to Y by a certain date. So this is the wildly important goal. This is my rig, 255 to 220 by August. So that gives me May, June, July, August. So that gives me 4 months. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have lead measures. Now, the lead measures are the steps that you're going to take to be able to get to whatever your desired end state is. Mm-hmm. So I've got, say for instance, say we would go June, so we got June, July, August. So that's 3 months, and so there's 4 weeks in every month, okay? Mm-hmm. So 4 weeks every month, and there's 7 days in that. So I'm gonna exercise, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna exercise Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday of each one of those weeks. So Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. All right. So every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, I'm gonna walk 10,000 steps. every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So that's what I did. That's what we started out doing. Every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, you saw us, and we were posting photos, and you became our accountability partners.
Right.
You became our accountability partners. You didn't even know it, but you saw us doing it. Now I
encouraged
ride.
us. Yes, you encouraged us.
I ride, and so when I ride, I post a photo on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And so these 10,000 steps. So we have the wildly important goal. All right. There we go. Okay. Wildly important goal. Then we have our lead measure. Okay, which is the 10,000 steps every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Then after we've got our lead measure, one of the things I decided we do is we cut out all sugar. I would only eat fish and green vegetables, and then I would only eat rice. Okay, I'm going through this with you. So these are my lead measures. I'm going to reduce the calories that I take in, is what happened. I'm going to increase the amount of exercise that I do, and so that's my lead measure.
Yes.
My accountability is the scale. The scale. So I'm getting on the scale every Tuesday, every Thursday, every Saturday. I'm measuring my weight. I'm seeing how much weight I have, and when I get through exercising every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, I'm seeing how much weight I've lost. And so what happened is, as I continued to do that, and we had our cadence of accountability meetings, and my wife and I would sit down, and we would sit down, and we would say, okay, baby, I lost 10 pounds. Okay, I lost 5 pounds. Okay, I lost 20 pounds. And each week, and then one week, I found out I didn't lose any weight. It seemed like I gained weight. All right, it just, I'm like, oh my God, what in the world just happened?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you'll go backwards before you go forward, but you still got to stay motivated to do the thing that you said that you were going to do. So we got the wildly important goal, we got the lead measure, my cadence of accountability, and then my scorecard. So what I did was I developed a board, and on my board I actually set out and said, this is how much weight I want to lose. This is how much weight that I'm putting down. And so I put it all down. And over a period of time, I lost the weight. I kept losing weight. Sometimes, and once my metabolism picked up, I would actually go to sleep at night,
yes,
and I would wake up the next morning, and I lost 2 pounds.
Right.
I lost
yes.
3 pounds. Because it works.
Yeah, it does. It does. Your body became so accustomed, and so his metabolism really kicked in, and he lost weight while he slept.
Right. Okay.
That was crazy.
It was nuts. Okay, so let me give you another one. Some of you are trying to do your social media goals. So let me erase this one. Okay, go ahead. You were getting ready to say something.
But yeah, these things are so important. As you know, even with social media, we begin to see it ourselves right before our eyes. My husband was like, "I'm confident this is gonna work. This is a plan. It's achievable. But we have to be disciplined in doing it. We have to be consistent in doing it. We can't do it just when we feel like it. No, we have to do it consistently every single day, and we'll begin to see the results of our labor. So we begin to see that. We begin to see growth. At that time we were on Periscope. It worked with Periscope. It worked with Facebook. It worked with all these other social media, entities. So we begin to see that, and it helped us to build. It helped us to grow. It helped our reach and all of these different things. So one of the things that you all have to know, we all have to keep in mind, God wants us to be in balance in every part of our life. We've quoted, I wish above all things that you will prosper and be in health even as your soul prospers. But that's balance in our physical health, in our emotional health, in what we do. We don't want to just be fit spiritually. No, we want to be fit physically as well. So you've got to have a plan though. We were doing ministry and we were successful in that. But listen, for me, myself, I was out of shape. I was doing things, but I was labored in doing it. And so I had to come to the realization that I was out of shape, and then I had to do something about it.
Wow, no, that's good. That's good.
It was tough.
We had to come to this realization because we realized we had more, and we realized people were watching us and wanted to see us succeed in doing the things that we were doing. Okay, all right. So thank you for sharing again. You guys are all sharing, and that really means a lot to us. We appreciate that. Thank you so much. Okay, let me do this for physical fitness. Now, somebody asked me the question, what were the things that I did? Again, I had a weight goal that I wanted to achieve. So that means that I had to increase my cardiorespiratory endurance training. I had to increase the things that I was doing, while at the same time reducing the amount of calories that I was intaking, so that I could then lose weight. And so as time went on, I began to lose weight and lose weight and lose weight and achieve my goal.
Right, you burn more calories than you eat. So we really cut out things that will cause us to gain weight, like sugar. Sugar is a killer. I mean, it really tears your body down. You have no idea. And so many things have sugar in it, so you have to be very careful in what you eat. And so you have to look at the ingredients and move forward with that.
So I'm gonna give you this one very quickly. There we go. Okay, so let's look at a wildly important goal for, what was the next one he said? We're going to social media goals. Okay, let me give you, now I'm giving you guys a real treat here. Okay, here we go. All right, so my wildly important goal is to go from, let's say you got 1,000 people and you want to go to 5,000. Is that reasonable? Yep, that's reasonable. And you want to do it by, let's see, let's give yourself a 6 month. Mm-hmm. So 6 months from what's this? This is May,
June, July, August, September, October, November.
Okay, so November. Okay, so you want to really usually go between 90 and 120 days, which is 3 months to 9 months. 3 months to 6 months. You don't really want to go over 6 months with a goal, because you want to see if you can measure it and how it's going to go. So anyway, so I'm going to go 1,000 to 5,000 by November. So what are my lead measures? So my lead measures, this is something we actually did. Mm-hmm. We actually did, we did every week and every day. We started doing these broadcasts every day. So every day, and some people, let me say, some people are going to tell you you're doing too much. But what you got to realize is most times we're not doing enough. Mm-hmm. And people that are telling you that you're doing too much, oftentimes are not doing anything at all. Mm-hmm. Okay, so don't let people deter you, and don't let people stop you. And one of the things that I also say is, as you do it and as you move forward in it, people will get on board with what you're doing. Okay, so my lead measure was, number one, we started doing a 12 midnight. We started doing a 12 midnight broadcast and a 1 o'clock. My handwriting is terrible, okay? The handwriting is terrible, okay? So we did a 12 midnight and a 1 o'clock broadcast every day, all right? And I haven't gotten the perfection of writing with this pen. Okay, so I did a 12 midnight and a 1 o'clock every day. And what I did was I measured. At the end of every week, I would measure my social media reach and my social media and what the people were, engaging with our posts. What I found is that every week I was growing by 30, 60, 100 people every week. And so what I did was, again, every day at 12 o'clock, every day at 1 o'clock, we did a broadcast. These broadcasts were no more than about an hour and a half. And so every day I did a broadcast. So my wig was to go from 1,000 to 5,000 by November. Then I went into our lead measure, which was every day. These are action items that you do every day that takes you from where you are to where you want to be. And then again, you're doing it by November. So I went the first week. So the first week I grew by 50 or 100 people. Okay, and again, then after time went on, I went from the 50 or 100, and then I went to the next level, and I went to the next level, and I went to the next level. So my lead measures, I saw when we had our Cadence of Accountability meeting that my lead measures were working because I was increasing in my social media numbers. Okay, are you listening? So I did this. And after time, we'd hold our cadence of accountability, and then we would cadence of accountability, and then we would have a scoreboard. And so the scoreboard told us where we were based on where we started to where you were now and where we were going. Mm-hmm. So that was important. Where you start, where you are now, and where you're going. And you do this every week. We did this every week. Every day, I wrote down what the numbers were, how I was increasing. This is how you set goals. You have a wildly important goal. I want to go from 1,000 to 5,000. And guess what? The goal that I had, I reached it, okay? So I think that if we apply these principles to our lives, we'll see success every time. The difference between the person who gets success and the person who doesn't have success is the person who does not set up goals. But when you set goals, I promise you, you're going to see results. Okay, so daily action items were those lead measures. Then you had the cadence of accountability. Again, if you're trying to lose weight, you cannot try to lose weight and you're afraid to get on the scale. Because every day I got on the scale. When I got up in the morning, I got on the scale, I wrote down how much I weighed, and then right after I exercised, I wrote down how much weight I lost, and then at the end of the day, I wrote down how much, if I ate food, I said, well, I've gained, or I ate up this many calories. You even have to be able to write down how many calories you're taking in, and there's apps to do this. Then I actually wrote down how many calories I was taking, how much fat I was burning, how much weight I was burning, and as a result, I saw myself become smaller and smaller and smaller. Are you listening? Okay.
Yes.
And you see the results. You see the results. I'm smaller. I'm more in shape. I'm more physically fit. I can run. I can walk. I can do all the things that I couldn't do before, and I can do it well. Are you listening to me? Okay, good. So this is the process of understanding. Now I'm going to give you two more things, and I was going to give you the multiplying disciples, and also your reading, your writing. Let's do that. Let's do writing. You want to say something?
I'm so glad you guys are enjoying. I'm seeing your comments. Yeah, keep track of the numbers every week. Yes, get on the scale, face your challenges. Yes, and so it's amazing. Yes. So yeah, you've got to be consistent. You've got to write things down. You've got to face those things so that you can achieve, because you're going to have challenges in whatever goal you set. There will be a challenge that you're going to have to face and overcome in order to achieve it. No goal is simple. No goal is just easy. So you're going to have to face those challenges. I had to face the scale. I had to get on the scale. You know how we are women. You know how we are. So I had to say, okay, honey, here's how much I weigh. And I was kicking and screaming. He was like, girl, you better get on the scale. So, but it was beneficial. It was definitely beneficial. When you face those things, those challenges, you set the goal. You have those things, those lead measures in place, and how you're going to achieve the goal by a certain date. You've got to have that date, that time frame that you're going to achieve it. So you push towards that. Even when he was talking about us driving from Tallahassee to Tampa, we had to get here a certain amount of time. So if there was a time frame that we lacked in our goal for that particular hour, that means we had to drive a little bit faster in order to make up the time that was lost on the last hour. So you're able to understand where you are and where you're going at all times. You always have to know where you are as according to your goal and your time. Just writing some things down here.
All right, let me give you this last couple of things. This is what we call, I guess, the balanced scorecard. So with the balanced scorecard, what you want to do is you want to measure your goals by the success you're having. So say for instance with your customer relationships, you want to know, and again this is for business, for any that have business, if you have ministry, you have church, you have these things, you want to be able to grow. You want to be able to grow your organization. If you have a product, you want to be able to grow it. If you have just social media, you want to be able to grow it. And so these are things that you can measure. Now this measures some things, it doesn't measure everything, but it's a good guide. Again, it's the balanced scorecard, and we were taught this in our business classes, because I think that it becomes just valuable to check your execution, to see how you're doing. Okay. So the first thing you want to know is if your customer relationships or your member or your employee relationships are good. Are they satisfied? Is there good retention? Are you able to deliver quality performance to the people, and do they like it? When you check your finances, is the ROI good? Your return on investment, is your cash flow good, and are you getting the financial results you want? On the educational side, is job satisfaction with your employees, your staff members, because you can't really do anything unless you have a staff and a team. So are they satisfied? Do they have training opportunities to improve their process? Because if you have goals in a company or in a business or organization, you're going to have to do this to see your organization go to the next level. Right. And then your internal processes. Are you really aligning your goals so that your team and your environment can grow and get better? Because if you're not improving your team, your processes, right, and places like, for instance, when we first started, let me give you one in particular, something that makes sense to you. So when we first started, and this is going to make some sense to you guys that are out there. So when we first started doing Periscope, Facebook Live, we started with basically with our cell phone. So we had one cell phone that was set up on one side that was going to Facebook, and we had another cell phone on the other side that was going to Instagram, or to Periscope. So we had two cell phones, and so we had to push the phone was on and going. And so I'm like, my God, this is not working. So eventually we got to a place where we didn't have cell phones, and now you're watching us. We've got 4K cameras that are in the studio. I'm looking at a monitor that is an actual, it's a 4K monitor. I've got programs, but we scaled that. At the time I said, we have to invest in your goals. You have to invest in your vision. You have to invest in your dream. You have to believe God to stretch you in the area that even for the goals. So now we've got this system that helps us to do the broadcast, so our broadcast look professional. Why? Because I wanted to increase my social media, and it was necessary for us to increase it that it looks better. So if you go back to our initial broadcast, if you go back 2 or 3 years, you saw us in this room with lights on, and the lights were in our face, and we were just any kind of, it was just, when I tell you it was not excellent, but at the time that was all we had, we had to start where we were so that we can get to where we are now. Now again, we've got a whole production studio, and it's really in the same place that we started, but you can progress, you can move to your next level. If you want to start with finances, you start with a small amount of finances, and you start putting $10 a week. If you put $10 a week, you say, I want to reach this certain goal by the end of the year, then you start putting $10, $20, $30 a week. And if you put that into an account, again, and I recommend that you put it into an account. Listen to this. You put it into an account that you do not have a debit card for, so that you can put that money into some kind of savings. And so you start saving this money, and before you know it, you'll have money. And if then the next year, you'll have even more money. And the next year, you have even more money, so that you can have money in savings. And so this goal process works. If you apply yourself to goals, and you commit to them, and you're consistent with them, and even when it hurts, even when it doesn't feel good, even when the process isn't easy, if you will commit to doing these goals and these goal processes, I promise you, you're going to get to your next level.
Absolutely. Well, we're excited for you guys. I tell you again, as Michelle J. Miller said, you have to invest in your goals. You have to know what you want to go is important enough to you to invest in. You can expect everybody else to invest in your goals if you have not invested in your goals. So it's going to take money, it's going to take resources for you to move forward and go to your next level.
Yep. Do we have enough time for me to go over the SWOT analysis?
Yes,
Okay.
I think so.
I want to make sure that I give you evaluation tools because some of you are business owners. And I know that everybody is not necessarily interested in some of the things that I'm talking about because you don't necessarily need to know about what a SWOT analysis is. But I think if you have a business, you always want to evaluate yourself. If you've got a ministry, you want to evaluate yourself. If you even have your physical fitness goal, you want to evaluate yourself so that you have success. Okay, let me give you this one more evaluation tool. SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And so with strengths, which is the SWOT, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And it's a great evaluation tool for an organization or a person or whatever organizational processes you want to be able to do. So number one, you want to have your strengths. Things that your company does well, qualities that separate you from your competitors, internal resources such as skilled, knowledgeable staff, tangible assets such as intellectual property, capital, propriety, and technologies. What are weaknesses? Things that your company lacks, things that your competition does better than you, resource limitations, unclear, unique selling propositions. Opportunities, undeserved market for specific products, few competitors in your area, all right, emerging need for your product or service. These are opportunities. Press media coverage of your company. These are opportunities. Threats, emerging competitors, changing regulatory environments, negative press, media, changing customer attitudes towards your company. So these all can be necessarily threats for your organization. And I really like when I was exercising. Let me give you a threat for when I was exercising. One of the threats when I was exercising that I had to look at was in the wintertime in Florida. Now I know wintertime is not the same as it is in Chicago. I have friends in Chicago, and it's cold in Chicago. But in Florida, it's warm. But in the wintertime, which I would say sometimes if I was riding my bike, I didn't want to ride in the snow. I didn't want to. So what I had to do was I had to compensate, and I had to buy winter riding clothes. I had to buy winter riding boots. I had to buy thermal outfits so that I could ride and continue my consistency even in the wintertime.
Because it took away your excuse.
Yep, that's it. Yep. And so I think that it's so important for us to look at our strengths, our weaknesses, our opportunities, and our threats as we evaluate our goals so that we can then eliminate or minimize the threats and minimize the areas of weakness so that they become strengths and so that we can see ourselves achieve the destiny and the things that we want to achieve. Well, wow. I hope this made sense to us. I hope it blessed you. I tried to water it down as best I could to make it reasonably understandable for each and every person that's watching. But I really want to see us set goals and achieve your goal. Not just set goals. I want to see you set goals. I want to see you achieve goals. I want to see you go to your next level because I believe that every person on here is destined for greatness. You're destined for greatness. You're destined for great purpose. There is a end state that you want to get to, and I believe that you are destined to do it, and you're going to do it. I want to pray for you very quickly before I turn it back over. But I pray, Lord God, that you give these your sons and your daughters. God, you give them strategy. You give them vision. You give them goals. You help them to understand. You help them to fight with a plan. You have to help them to fight with a strategized, a divinely inspired plan. Father, they've got dreams. They got vision. They've got goals. But I pray in the name of Jesus, God, that you strengthen them. You cause them, God, to walk out their destiny, their purpose, God. You order every footstep, God. You direct them even in setting up their goals and understanding. Cause them to dream bigger than they've ever dreamed before. Cause them to see bigger than they've ever seen before. Cause them to understand more than they've ever understood. Give them the wisdom of Solomon, God, that they're able to understand things that were too hard for them to understand in previous years. God, cause them even to have connections, God. Cause them to have people, God, that literally help them to to do what destiny helpers, we call them, God. Give them destiny helpers that will come alongside them, God, and help push and propel them into their next level. I declare, God, that this will be the best season of their life. These will be the best days of their life. The days ahead, God, will be one of the, oh God, they'll look back on this season and they'll look back on these days and they'll say, Lord, I thank you because you have made my life be amazing. I've seen my dreams. I've seen my vision. I saw where I could be, and I was willing to put in the work that was necessary, God, to really push towards my destiny, push toward the vision, push toward. I set goals and then I achieve them. I set goals and I achieve them. This has got to be your declaration, people of God. You've got to set goals and you've got to achieve them, and you've got to know that the same God who's helped other people achieve goals, set goals, dream big, visualize big, but then achieve big things, that they're called to do this. And God, I pray that you put a boldness inside them. I pray, Lord God, that you cause them to be bold and courageous, God. I pray that every man, woman, boy, and girl that is watching this broadcast, that literally there is impartation of boldness. There's an impartation of courage. There's an impartation for the next level. God, I pray in the name of Jesus, God, that everything they desire to do, you help them to do it, and let this be the season where they see it come into fruition and manifestation. And so, Lord, we just bless them, we praise them, we thank you for it, answering these prayers in Jesus' name. Amen. Now, again, I said that if you're watching the broadcast and you want my notes, I did take notes and I did write them down. I'll send you my notes from this broadcast. I'll give them to my wife, and she will put them into an email and get them sent to you. Yes. The other thing that I said is if you want to practice doing the SMART goals, or if you've got any questions about this, then you can. Do we have the email set?
I believe so. Yeah, grow at fearlesswomenglobal.org.
Okay, so you say grow at fearlesswomenglobal.org. Again, the email that you can send it to is grow at fearlesswomenglobal.org. And so I want to make sure that you guys are able to put those SMART goals together. And if you send it to me, I'll give you feedback. Okay, is this goal reasonable? Is it achievable? Is it something that I can go towards? And then I'll even give you feedback on it, let you know whether I think that the goal is reasonable, if it makes sense, if it's going to work, and then if it's not going to work, I'll tell you. Yeah, and then I'll give you the action steps that you need to take to actually get to that goal, because I believe in you guys. We believe in you guys. We believe in your destiny. We believe in God's purpose for your life. And I don't believe that you want to just stay stuck with having a goal and having a vision. No, you want to see it come to pass. You want to see the thing. If you've got a health goal, a fitness goal, you got a financial goal, you got an educational goal, you want to write books, you want to read books, you want to set goals and you want to achieve them, and we want to help you do it. Okay?
Absolutely. Amen. Awesome. So again, if you want the notes, make sure you've registered for it, and so we'll send that out to the registrants. His extensive things that he didn't even get to today, but you'll be able to look at it. I know some of you may have missed a couple points, but you'll be able to have that right there with you. And so for those of you that need the planner, the Shiro planner, setting goals and getting results, it is very comprehensive. It's beautiful, hardcover. You usually don't see that. Premium paper. So it goes through a lot of different things. I won't go into it today. You've had a lot of information, but if you want it, of course, it comes with a tassel. I had to have something on there. But anyway, it's really, really beautiful and will help you to stay focused. It helps you to even look at your past victories, things that you've accomplished, so that you can build upon that. Because sometimes in achieving goals, we can get tired. We can get weird. We can like, man, is this really working? And so it really gives you an opportunity for strategies. You can do a vision board within this. You can also have your bucket list. So it has a place for bucket list. It's amazing. So get your planner. You can certainly get that on LaJun and Valora.com or fearlesswomenglobal.org. On both of those websites, you can order that. But we love you guys. guys so much. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your comments. And, again, grow at fearlesswomenglobal.org. Love you guys so much. We're excited about tonight at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to have our dear friend and sister, Jennifer Brindley. She is phenomenal. Listen, she was one of our coaches and our accountability partner in our journey to lose weight. So she's going to be talking about your health and nutrition, the simple things. She told my husband one thing to do, and it changed everything. She gave him one instruction, and so when he did the one thing, it really changed everything. It really sped up some things for him. So don't miss tonight at 7 o'clock. We'll be back, but I'm just going to introduce her, and she's going to go with it. She has a fitness show that she does, Rise Up Ministries, and it's broadcast really around the world. She's had that for several years. She's on CTN and other stations. And so you're going to be tremendously blessed by her ministry and the things that she's going to give you, the practical how-tos to really have a healthy lifestyle.
Wow. Well, I'm really excited. I'm so proud of my wife. She is you're just so amazing, just so awesome. And
he taught me everything I know.
Oh,
so
God. Let us pray.
Yes. Yeah. He's my business coach. So he's been amazing, just helping me to birth. And so you need people to help you birth. You need people to come alongside you, to mentor you, to coach you, to let you know, hey, I'm with you. I'm standing with you. I'm going to give you this tool that's going to help you to grow faster, quicker, and so you'll be able to see great results from people that have seen great results. So again, love you guys. Thank you so much for being a part. Go to our website, register if you have not, purchase your planner if you have not. Love you so much, and we'll see you tonight at 7 o'clock. God bless.